Hey guys, I hope you're having a good Saturday. I wanted to do a video because today I am actually making some cinnamon rolls that we're going to have in the morning for breakfast. Yes, they are keto cinnamon rolls. I actually got this recipe from Keto Ginger. I will link you below to her video of this. I don't normally like to do videos of something somebody else has already made, but I'm trying to get some practice in at doing these videos, so I figured since I'm making it and it's a nice day with the light through the window, I'm going to give it a shot. So I will come back with a different angle so you can see what the ingredients are, and we'll go from there. I'm going to start out with letting you know what ingredients we'll be using today. I haven't measured anything out yet, obviously, but I just wanted to have everything out so we could go over what you're going to need. We are not advertising Swerve today, but it just happens to be the best thing that I've been able to use, and it doesn't affect your sugar alcohols. They have different varieties. There's also like some monk fruit sweeteners you can get that have different varieties as well. Those are great. So for today, we're going to need 1.5 cups of mozzarella cheese, 3/4 of a cup of almond flour, and I actually ran out of almond flour, had to run out and get some. I actually bought this one at Aldi. It was like $6, so it's actually a little bit cheaper than what I normally spend. We will need 1 egg. We'll also need 1/2 teaspoon of salt, which I don't even actually have on the counter at the moment, or a teaspoon of cinnamon, so we'll need that as well. 3 tablespoons of the granular Swerve is what we're going to need for the dough, and we'll get going on that in just a moment. Alright, I just heated up my mozzarella and my cream cheese, so I just got to mix this together. Basically, this is made with fathead dough, so I just want to make sure I get this mixed up really well. The cream cheese mixed all through it. Looks good there. And then we're going to mix in my 3/4 of a cup of almond flour, and we're going to get this mixed in well. Of course, I'm going to make a mess trying to do it on video, but that's the way it goes. I probably should have tried to use a bigger bowl. This stuff is a blast. It's so sticky. If you've ever worked with fathead dough before, trust me, it is. If you've never worked with it, it is very sticky. And if it gets to the point where it doesn't want to mix in anymore, I will put it back in the microwave to where it's a little bit more wetter consistency, and then mix it in a little bit better. I've actually seen where people have put it in the microwave with the almond flour in it, like just in the beginning. I've never tried it that way. It might be better that way, but we'll give it a shot this way. Get that all mixed in. I need my vanilla, my cinnamon, my salt. Yes, I have imitation vanilla, because that's what I've got, and I will use that until I run out. It actually doesn't have but a little bit of sugar in it, and you're only using a teaspoon for the whole recipe, so you're probably, I would assume, well, don't quote me, that it's not enough to do anything to you, since it's just a, that's lovely hot right there, since it's just that tiny bit. So make sure this is mixed in really well, and then we're gonna I should have put all my dry ingredients together, which is just the sugar in that, but I'm kind of winging this. You know, my videos, like I said, it's like live TV. We're just gonna do it right now. So we're gonna need a teaspoon, tablespoon measurer. I am not prepared, as you can tell. So I have, let's see, teaspoon of cinnamon, which is like the best scent in this freaking planet. I promise you, I love that smell. The loud neighborhood vehicles again, guys. Honestly, I think 90% of the times when I buy candles, they're usually something related to caramel, cinnamon, or vanilla. So that's usually what we get. I actually just got some different candles. I'll do a house tour-ish one day and show you like some of my favorite things. And once this starts cooling off a little bit, I can put the egg in there. I don't like doing it till it gets a little bit cooler. So there's our cinnamon. And then it's actually half a teaspoon of salt. It's not much. Vanilla is actually not until later. That is actually going in the filling. So I need to put my Swerve in here, the granular. I will need three tablespoons of that. There's 1, 2, 3. I think since it's a little cooler now, I'll go ahead and put my egg in here. That way it'll probably help me a little bit with getting this all mixed in better as well, with like the cinnamon and the sugar and all that yumminess mixed together. So, and everybody always tries to warn you of this, but please, 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 please make sure you do let that dough cool off before you start adding in egg, because if you don't, you will end up with scrambled eggs and a bunch of wasted ingredients. The ingredients are not cheap. And we're going to get all this mixed in together until it forms a dough ball here. And then we'll put it in the refrigerator for a little bit while we do the filling. What you're going to need for the filling is 4 tablespoons of butter that's melted. We'll do that at the end. We also will need 4 tablespoons of the brown sugar Swerve and 1 teaspoon of vanilla, 1 teaspoon of cinnamon. Alright, I've got my oven on. We're preheating that to 375. I actually greased with some cooking spray an 8x8 glass pan, which you can use a round cake pan if you like. I don't have a round cake pan because I don't make round cakes. Normally I just make, you know, square ones or 9x13s. So I've got that greased. The oven is preheating to 375. And while the dough is in the fridge for a little bit, we're going to make the filling that goes inside the cinnamon rolls. So I have already melted 4 tablespoons of butter. And I'm going to need 4 tablespoons of this brown sugar Swerve. And it's kind of stuck together. But we're going to get there's 1, 2, 3. It's stuck like real brown sugar, I'm telling you, like molasses and stuff. It's crazy. And 4. Alright. So I've got that together. I've had a couple people ask about what the fork is for dinner sign. I do vinyl. I may have mentioned that at one point before, but I made that. Thought it was cute. Okay, so I'm going to actually put my vanilla and my cinnamon in here first, since this stuff's pretty thick. And so we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. So I'm just going to pour this over my brown sugar here. This is actually going to be the first time I will be using the Swerve brown sugar and the Swerve confectioners. So just give that a good mix until it's all mixed in well. Obviously the brown sugar's not really gonna like dissolve. It's kind of, you know, melting a little bit into this. Something there, I don't know what it was. Could be just a chunk of butter, but it was big light colored something. So I've got it all mixed in well. It's kind of liquidy, but that's ready to go for the filling. And I am actually going to pull out my dough from the refrigerator, and we'll get that laid out and see what our next step is. Got our dough out of the refrigerator. I've got 2 pieces of parchment paper. I'm not going to worry about putting it on a cookie sheet or anything just yet, but we're going to put the cookie dough on the parchment paper here. And now if you hear a noise, we do live near a train track. So you know how it is. Anything that's going to make some noise when you're trying to do something like this, it's going to happen. So what I'm going to do is put another piece of parchment paper on top and press this down, and then we're going to roll it out. Obviously it would help if I had it might be why some people use a pan to do this with, so that it doesn't move like that. Okay. Obviously, I'm not going for the pretty ones because it's kind of hard to get this stuff to do what you want it to do sometimes. I'm trying to get it as square as possible so that we can roll it up for the most part evenly. Obviously it's not doing what I want it to do, but we're working with it. So my parchment paper, I get the pre-cut ones. Doesn't look too bad to me. It's not even, obviously. All over my placemat there. That's good. That works. We got this. Oven is good to go. So let's just see if I can get some more. There. And I know this stuff is a pain in the booty. I'm actually going to grab another piece of parchment paper. Sorry about all the racket. I'm going to do that because we're not working out the way I want it to right now. So I'm just trying to get it somewhat of an even piece here. And believe it or not, it's not as sticky as your normal fathead dough. I think it's because of all the other ingredients in it, but and I would totally be using this the correct way if it wasn't sliding around all over my table. But it's close enough. Just want to make sure the edges are pretty even. Usually you want to try to get everything the same thickness. Sickness! Wah! Okay. Wrong channel. So, obviously this is the first time I've made this, so it's not going to be perfect. Plus, trust me, ugly food normally tastes better, guys. I know you've probably done that before. But we're going to spread our filling out, and then we're going to use the parchment paper to help roll them up into a pinwheel tube there. Look at my filling. I guess it's safe to say I need to remelt my butter. That's great. That's something you don't see them show you. You gotta put that on right away, eh? Okay. So we're gonna heat that back up. Oh gosh, so sorry there. Okay, I don't have a basting brush, and this stuff is really liquidy now that I reheated it. See, disaster in progress. Please stand by. All right, we're gonna give this a second to actually get a little bit thicker because that's just too watery since I had to reheat it. But hey, at least you guys know what can happen. We'll let that sit for a minute and then we'll come back. Okay, I have let this thicken up more. That's much better. This is not as watery as it was. I just kept stirring it for a minute, really literally not even maybe a minute. So I'm going to pour this out onto here. It may be a mistake, but you're watching me do it, so if nothing else, we'll let it get a little thicker before we spread it out. So, at some point, I would like to get a rubber basting brush. I probably will soon. My husband actually works at a store where they sell a lot of home goods and stuff like that. So, then I get the discount. Gotta love the discount. So I buy all the stuff for the house there that I can. not spreading too bad. I think it would probably do a little bit better if I had a basting brush. I kind of don't really want to go all the way out to the edge, but I guess we probably should somewhat, huh? If you hear any music in the background, which I don't know if you can or not, but we always leave our cable on like the music channels when we're doing stuff around the house. So we don't have a stereo set up or anything like that. So it helps. Me and my perfectionism is trying to like make it perfect, and that ain't gonna happen. All right. This is where we want to say a little prayer and say, please, cooking gods, let us roll up this thing the way it needs to be rolled. So we're going to just barely start pushing it over like that. And it may end up being a flat roll, but it's rolling. So obviously, like we said before, it's probably not going to be pretty, but we're making it work. Just trying to let you guys see it as I do it. Obviously, like I said, some of these edges were not going to be perfect. See that there? I want to move this. Oh, making a mess, making a mess. Disaster, disaster. Crap. Okay. Let's keep going, girls. Let's keep going. We're almost there. It's not gonna be pretty, but I bet you it's gonna be delicious. Cinnamon rolls are like, one of those things that, oh no, don't do that. One of those things where you don't realize how much you miss it until it's gone. Man, that worked out good. I put it right on that one piece. Whoop whoop. So now we're going to actually put this in the fridge for, I think it's just a few minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah, we're going to refrigerate this for about 10 minutes and then come back to it and we're going to slice it up. So we'll be back to finish that step. Okay, what I did was actually I stuck it in the freezer since my oven's been preheated for a little bit now. I should have probably waited a little bit to preheat it. I don't have a sifter because I don't use this stuff much either. So for the icing, what we're going to do is, which you can wait if you want to make the icing, you can wait to make this after they're done cooking and put them on when they're hot. But I'm just going to go ahead and make it now so you can see how it works. I have 2 tablespoons of softened butter, not melted butter. We've made this mistake before. And 1 teaspoon of the powdered Swerve. Oh, I'm so sorry. That is incorrect. It's 3/4 of a cup of powdered Swerve. I thought that wasn't right. The teaspoon is actually going to be the vanilla. Hello. Teaspoon of vanilla. And then I need a teaspoon of milk, or half and half. My husband actually uses milk for his coffee. And it's just a smidge, so no stressing on that if you have to use milk. And try not to make a mess, but you know how that works. Okay. And then I'm going to use, it's 3/4 of a cup of the powdered Swerve. I'm sorry about that, guys. I didn't mean to do that. So there's 1/4, 2, and 3 minus a teaspoon, since we mixed that in there by accident. That's what happens when you don't consistently, continuously check the directions. So we're gonna mix this together. Yeah, I'm using my measuring spoon. I'm weird, I know. I get it. Look at that mess. We are slinging it. And I don't know how you call this icing. That's some thick stuff. I think they actually had to add more when I was watching other people make it. So we're gonna do like another little teaspoon or so of that. And I would almost think that it would probably be better if you actually had your butter melted and not softened. I think if it was melted, it might work a little bit better. This spoon is not doing it for me. I mean, if you want a thick icing, you can make it a thick icing. But I'm the kind of girl, I kind of want it to melt a little bit. So we're gonna wait, and when these come out warm, I'm gonna put it on it and see if it does the little melting thing, like, you know, the typical cinnamon bun icing stuff does that you get in the refrigerated section. Because it's probably about that thick, honestly. With that extra teaspoon of milk, I believe that helped a lot. But we're gonna go from there and see what it does once we actually put it on the hot buns. Hot buns, baby. So we're gonna put them on the pan now, and we'll go from there. All right, so there's my log. My log. And I'm going to use one of the best knives that we have. I would like to try to get these a little more rounded. So let's see what we got here. Obviously, they're not going to be even. Looks like we're going to get about 10. Use a good knife. I think I'm getting thicker the farther I go down. Oh, not too bad though, not too bad. They're about as even as they're going to get. So what we're going to do is, that doesn't look too bad for the crappiest one. And then the next to the crappiest one. Okay. So that's what we have, which doesn't look that bad. We'll see. And I know they say to put this in a pan, a round pan, but that didn't work out for me. I don't have one. So we're gonna give this a shot. I know it may end up being distorted once they swell out some. I got this short one here that may cook out sooner than the rest of them, and they're not 100% even. But you know what? That's life. Nothing's gonna be perfect, guys. So we're gonna put this in the oven for, we're gonna start out with 20 minutes and check it. Depending on everybody's oven, they can take as long as 30 minutes. So check them at 20, check them again at 25, or however often you wanna check them. But at the most, it should not take more than 30 minutes unless I have cut these too thick. So we're gonna see and go from there.